let me just let that go, okay? That's it in and of itself. It's so lovely for me. But I thought I'd tell you something about the class to defend myself about the class of 72. Okay, I'll pick just one thing. The end of the AP exam comes in May. Graduation doesn't come until mid-June, late June, and it's time often wasted. And I just said to the students, listen, I've enjoyed teaching you this year immensely. I took them to the meeting of the Organization of American Historians in Washington, D.C. I took them to Camp Androscoggin in Wayne, Maine, where Jim was a camper, and so was your brother. No? Oh, just you. Okay. In any event, Captcha's right. I said to the kids, look, do anything from 1945 on. Write a paper on it. Show me what you can do. And each of the kids wrote just wonderful papers, except they did something so cute and so funny. The week before the papers were due, they must have gone to someone's house. And they all agreed that they were going to footnote each other's papers. And then, having done that, they were going to put in one slug. There's one poison pill which was going to show that, indeed, that was not right. And I knew that, too. And so I wound up the last week I taught them, crawling around on the floor, trying to figure out which was the ones that were stolen and which of the ones were real. And kind of a neat way to leave the classroom. So I owe a lot of you a lot. And I appreciate your coming for all of us and for the distinguished alumni. God bless you. Keep it going.
Actually, standing up here, and seeing other people speak up here, I realize this seems somewhat like a pulpit. So I am going to give a brief closing homily. But before I do that, a bit of housekeeping. And that is that if all the honorees could just, at the end of the ceremony, come up by the stairs for a group picture, we'd much appreciate that. And then one personal aside, Jim was speaking about the impact of Eric's expectations on the students. Multiply that 100-fold, being a new teacher hired by Eric, and the expectations are there like, oh, you know. And I'm like, oh, yeah, and I'm up to, Yuki, you were up. I was up 3, 4 in the morning just so I would know what he expected that I would know. So, and I learned a lot that way. So thank you, Eric. To the homily, it's so impressive. I mean, I'm standing listening to the honorees and just my jaw is dropping. Just wow. It's so impressive. And two sort of disparate realities come to mind. One is, we're gathered here and we celebrate these people who clearly possess the kinds of qualities, the kinds of skills, critical thinking, creativity, leadership. They're risk takers. They all have these empathetic natures. It's so wonderful to see. They're great problem solvers. And we believe, at least to some extent, some of that comes from being a product of Scarsdale and Scarsdale education. So that's one reality. Then over here, you have Scarsdale High School and all the schools in New York State and throughout the United States, unfortunately, being dragged, sort of kicking and screaming, into a world where there's going to be much greater state oversight, much greater state control of curriculum, much high-stakes testing that is going to drive teaching to the test in very unfortunate ways. And it's really, makes you step back and say, who could think that's a good idea when we see what has come out of the way we do things here? And so we know, and we do this with the support of the Board of Education, and we thank you for that. We do it with the support of the superintendent, who is such a strong advocate for the Scarsdale education. And what we know is that we will continue to fight the good fight, inspired by you all, and we thank you for that. And so we thank you also for coming today, and we hope you have a lovely rest of the weekend. And thank you all for coming so far.